How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, Ginger Joe the Geek. Welcome back to the channel for Spotlight on Transformers. And this is going to be fun because none of us know frig all about Transformers. So we'll push our way through it. As ever, I'm joined by my good buds. We've got James T. Keegan. Heyo.
Heyo.
Heyo. Are you well?
I'm very good. This is probably the show I like doing the most on this channel, but not tonight. Because I don't really care for Transformers, but we'll get through it.
Yeah, I did fucking Scooby-Doo for you. You'll do Transformers for me, right?
That's very fair. That's very fair. Okay.
We've also got everybody's favorite attention-seeking geek. Ben, you must be... You went away for a month, then you've come back and you're like on YouTube every hour, that I seem to see, like 3-hour streams practically. What's the crack? What's going on?
You see why I burn out?
Yeah.
So often. No, I'm ready for tonight. Wait, I'm not ready just yet. Now I'm ready.
You see that? Yeah.
Oh. It's come back in.
Are you well? Are you all right?
I'm good, yes. Yeah, I'm just... I said to you before we started, I may just sit back and listen to you guys, share your expertise, because I'm kind of... I'm definitely what would be classed as a casual Transformers fan.
Yeah,
I think so. I love it, but no, like I like it, but I don't. It's not like obviously it doesn't have a place in my room and stuff like that. But yeah.
Interesting.
Cash.
GP, how are you, sir?
Oh, very well. I can't wait to talk about GoBots.
GoBots are Transformers. That's good.
Yeah,
Can you do a transforming sound like me and Ben just did?
Yeah, no, that's as good as you're getting. That's as good as you're getting.
What the shit was that? Do you know what Transformers are?
It's a broken Transformer. His leg dropped off.
James T, we didn't get yours.
Yeah, I know.
Good.
Go on, good give word Transformer noise.
Come on. Peer pressure. Come on.
I can't even. What do we even sound like?
Okay.
James just cleared his throat, everybody. So, yeah.
Okay, guys. So we are here tonight to talk Transformers. I think, as you've probably already noticed, majority of who are kind of casual Transformers fans. I would probably say out of the four of what I'm probably the biggest Transformer geek. And it's a bit like my love of He-Man and all that kind of stuff. It's a cartoon that I remember from the 80s when I was a kid. But actually, I don't know the great detail. I know I loved it. And that's kind of continued on in nostalgia. But I'm not I don't know the in-depth kind of mythology behind it. So we're probably going to upset some Transformer fans tonight. Tom, if you're watching. But we'll go through, we'll wing through it, and we'll give our views on some bits and bobs, I'm sure. Before we do that, just quickly jump to the chat to see who we've got. We've got good old StreamYard.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack. We've got Andy, roll out. Yep, I should have done that. Andy, that should have been win.
Yeah, you missed a beat there.
Yeah. YouTubers roll out. Yeah,
does he have a catchphrase like to assemble? Like, because that's like the sign off is roll out.
Transform and roll out.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought roll out meant like goodbye.
It means like
it's like go.
It's like Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
Right.
Just not as good.
Yeah. How dare you? We've got Jack. How are you, Jack? Nice to see you, bud. We've got good old Dead Man. Always a pleasure. And we've also got Sean. Thank you for joining, Sean. We've got Comic Lad Simon. James Common Transformers is ace.
Classic Simon misspelling there.
Oh, come on, I think.
Come on.
Right. Christ, he types like he speaks.
I've known him too long now, like I can actually work out what he means.
You can speak Simon.
I can speak Simon fluent.
You can speak fluent Simon. Good stuff.
Simonisms.
We've got my pal Dave. Nice to see you, bud. Roll out. Yep. See, we've missed a trick there, lads. We should have
definitely have.
I enjoyed Void Riders. Going to touch on that later on, bud. Ben, like Peter with Star Wars, though, he doesn't have that in his room, as was a Steel. Yeah, I have got lots of stuff. I'm going to show off some figures later on. Simon showing a monkey emoji, I think.
Choo 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 choo.
Oh, that's your choo 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 choo.
Choo choo.
Transformers movie is still
Turn
gold.
train.
Soundtrack to this day. Yes, Simon. Something we agree on, Simon. I bet Simon knows a shitload about Transformers and he isn't on.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to put it into words and communicate it to people.
Okay, lots of shades towards poor Simon tonight. And you know, even if he didn't know lots about Transformers, I'm sure he would pretend. We've got Ian. Nice to see you, Ian. Thank you very much for joining. Right, here we go. Let's crack straight on. Well, I'm saying crack straight on. We're not going to crack straight on at all. We're going to talk about what's coming up on the channel and various other bits and bobs whilst we wait for other people to join. So, Benjamin, tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so this was just a recent live show that I did, but it was a collection tour with a difference. So I was basically taking a look at all the signature and celebrity photo ops that I've kind of acquired over the years. So it's a long video, but there's timestamps in there so people can have a look at sort of Marvel, Star Wars, horror, WWE stuff specifically, if that's what they're interested in.
It is a long video, Ben, but it's the kind of video you can watch in chunks. So I thoroughly enjoyed that one. I thought it was really cool. Haven't watched all of this one yet. I had to dip in and out. So tell again about this one.
Yeah, so this was earlier today. I again went live, and this was a showcase on cosplays that I've kind of enjoyed over the years as well. So basically just compiled sort of 50, pictures of cosplayers that they're all pictures that I took myself and witnessed myself of cosplays that, either blew me away or sort of gave me a big reaction. So yeah, just something different.
Very cool. Very cool. It was a great show. The bits I saw were excellent. James, a bit of Star Wars action.
Yeah, this is my video on Star Wars Outlaws. So I kind of went through the gameplay trailer that came out a couple of weeks ago. Some characters I think might show up in it based on like the time period. Talk a little bit about the setting and some of the locations as well. So yeah, it was a fun video to make. It was nice doing something Star Warsy for once. So yeah, I enjoyed this one.
My favorite
as
video
usual,
you've ever done.
You've got the sexiest voiceover voice around. So yeah,
Thank you.
Andy's right. Where's Fuzzy? He's YouTubed out
What?
after sitting through Ben's 4.5-hour video.
I fucking ruined him.
He's now watching Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
JP, can't wait
Yeah.
for this. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, so this is a week on Tuesday because you've been hijacked tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing Crimson Cage, which is James from Comic Dale's pick. So that'll be 8 p.m. a week tomorrow on my channel.
And it's an absolute phenomenal book. So I am absolutely hyped about that. Really, really looking forward to watching that one. And
Who
guys,
knows Shakespeare for that? Who's going to represent the Shakespeare?
I'll do that. I mean, actually, no, GP can cover the Shakespearean. That'd be all right, GP. Won't it? You can do that.
No, I'm thick. I never read friggin' Shakespeare at school. I had a life. I had a life at school.
I might need to come on then.
You might have to, Ben.
Exactly. This is the ideal, but it's Shakespeare, but with cartoony drones in it. Do you know what I mean? So it's the kind of Shakespeare I can understand. Everything is all right in the world. We're okay. Fuzzy has arrived.
Finally, Jesus Christ.
Well, we're going to have to stop the show, Fuzzy. I have to say.
I was getting worried.
Please. Yeah. Tomorrow night, myself and Ben are going over to Reviews with Rich's channel to talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's going to be.
I haven't watched it yet.
You say talk, but you mean argue.
Well, I don't think we'll argue. I think probably
some
all of
fights because one of us liked it and the others hated it. So
well, we didn't. I don't think any of us hated it. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be Ian's straight in there. Ian should review it for it. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant. Good.
It's just
now we're going to argue.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Just to mention, I'm not convinced of the date yet. I have to have a chat with some of the guys on here to see if they're free, if they fancy joining. If not, I'll do it myself. But we've got another 1/6 scale news show at the end of the week. There's a few bits and bobs to talk about. And I want to do a bit of a focus on, and I'll get the name wrong, is it Romanov? That Batman there. So this is by a group that do custom figures, which are very expensive, but they're absolutely phenomenal. And this is the latest one they've put out. So I want to do a bit of a kind of an overview of those as well. Excuse me. So I hope some of you can join me for that. Then on Friday, we're doing this week's comics. Hopefully you'll have read some comics by then, so we'll try and pick up on that and chat about what we've enjoyed and not enjoyed this week. Saturday, not sure what I'm doing yet. I will be doing a show. It'll either be the Saturday Night Live, or I might be doing a This Is My, because I've got a few people who want to do the Saturdays. Not quite sure yet. We'll see what that works out as. And then next Monday, we're doing Geeky Art Attack Star Wars. Really, really looking forward to that.
It's going to be a good one, that one.
Be a good one. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. Okay, Transformers. That's what we're actually here to talk about.
Two seconds, I'm getting a spotlight on me here.
Yeah, you're on the light. Just before we jump in, just quickly go to the chat. Big Dave saying no one he knows has got anything good to say about Indiana Jones. Oof. Fuzzy, I tried to time it so I miss all this.
Wow. Say how you feel, Fuzzy. Say how you feel.
Thanks for that, Fuzzy. I was always looking forward to Indy, and bang, it let me down. Yeah. But thanks for caring, Andy. Okie dokie. Right. Transformers. Fair to say, none of our massive kind of knowledge receptacles for Transformers, but we'll see how we can do. A little bit about the history to start with. Started off back in, well, it started before 84, but the original Transformers were part of the Takara Tomy line. So a lot of the things that we would recognize as Transformers were actually part of their Diaclone and Micro Change series and toy lines. So these were huge back in the day, back in Japan. And then they were sold, basically, the rights were sold, or the kind of the licensing was sold to a company we're probably more familiar with, good old Hasbro. In around 83, 84, Hasbro started to produce they basically took the same figures, rebranded them as Transformers, and started banging them out as Transformer figures. I've put this image up because I remember getting some of the Transformer toys back in the day when I was much younger, and them having that image on the back, and it was just stunning. Absolutely lovely.
Yeah, the box art was always really well done.
Yeah, really impressive. So Transformers then kind of really took off. We got the toys, and then we got the cartoon, the original, what we would class as the Generation 1 cartoon, with the Ark crashing on Earth, with the survivors fleeing Cybertron. And the cartoon kind of took off and became extremely popular. And then it's just gone mental. So over the years, it's gone crazy. We've got hundreds and hundreds of different Transformers, and loads of different series, which we're going to touch on a little bit. Before we get into that, I just wanted to quickly ask, you guys got a favorite Transformer? Is there anybody that jumps to mind when you think of Transformers in terms of the characters? Could be from the movies, the cartoons, anybody that stands out to you?
Yeah, my favorite. Oh, sorry,
GP, jump into it, mate.
My favorite's always been Soundwave.
Yeah.
Always
Why
really
is that?
like Soundwave. I don't know. It's just the aesthetic of it, with the tapes and everything.
I think there's something about his voice as well, isn't it? It's quite distinct compared to the rest of them.
It was a figure I always wanted when I was a kid and never got as well.
Yeah, very cool figure. Very cool. Yeah, Soundwave, very cool character. How about you, Ben?
I love Skids and Mudflap from
Of course you do.
second film.
Of course you do, Ben. Yeah.
I say that with no sense of irony. Even.
No, I know. And that's why you're on the show, Ben, to bring that alternate view of the, Skids and friggin' Mudflap from the Beavers. Yeah,
They're funny. I like them. Good crap.
James, what about you? Swear to God if you say Skids and Mudflap as well, mate.
Cade Yeager is I'm a fan of. It's Mark Wahlberg's character in Transformers. He is what Tony Stark should have been. Just great father. Awesome inventor. So yeah, I love that guy. A little bit racist toward Irish people.
Taking the piss, Jim.
Yes, terrible character. No, I don't know. I there's a handful of them. I quite like Mirage in the newest one.
Yeah.
That really great performance from Pete Davidson. So I really like that character. And then Bumblebee, I think aesthetically, I just like the look of as well.
Yeah, he looks very smart. Let us know in the chat if you've got a favorite. Obviously, mine. I mean, I've talked to you before about mine's Optimus Prime. Always loved. I like the leaders. I like the kind of the moralistic characters and things like that.
Boring ones.
Yeah. But yeah, I have to say I'm with you, JP. Soundwave is one of my personal favorites. I really, really like the voice. I hate the Bayverse movies,
He
but
was a
Bumblebee.
satellite, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a satellite in that or something.
Yeah,
But then in Bumblebee, we see him on Cybertron, and you hear his voice and stuff. And yeah, it's stunning.
I like
just-
Starscream as well. Like
Yeah.
if I'm going to look at the cartoons and stuff, like I love
Mm.
just how sassy Starscream is. Like Megatron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, always trying to overthrow
Wanna-
Megatron.
Yeah.
And he's superb in the movie. I mean, he's got some great scenes in the movie where he kind of his coronation. I love his coronation when Galvatron arrives. Very cool. Just quickly jumping into the chat, guys. Ian Carter, toys that dads dreaded every Christmas. Yeah, absolutely. Fuzzy, a real shortage of decent comics out this week. Yeah, mate, you're right. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. I think we've picked a few, and we'll let you know over the next few days if you want to read along. But there's not a lot of choice out there this week. Transformers Prime was an epic series. Yeah, I enjoyed that one, Dave. Simon preferred droids.
Of course, it did. Time.
Grimlock all the way. Yeah, very popular character. Shockwave, again, very cool character. And Ironhide. Yeah, I like Ironhide.
Yeah.
Megatron, because he changed into good. Ian, I've got an original Megatron. I was going to show him on the stream tonight. But then I thought, I don't know how YouTube reacts because it looks like a proper gun. Do you know what I mean? I'm not convinced you're allowed to show firearms on.
You can show real guns on YouTube.
Can you?
And shoot them and everything, yeah.
Yeah, YouTube aren't watching you either, Peter. Don't worry.
Right. Fuzzy, you haven't felt pain until you stood on a metal transformer. Yeah, especially any of the planes. Horrific plane.
Legos worse.
Yeah, Legos worse. Just in every way. Yeah. I like Ironhide Mirage. Jazz in it. Yeah, Jazz is very cool. Bruticus combo is also a favorite. Is also a fab of mine. Yeah. Not sure what ore is, Jack. Not sure
He
what...
meant Ironhide or Mirage.
Oh, right. Sorry. Got you. I thought it was a name of a transformer. Fuzzy worse than Lego. Nothing to do. Okie dokie. Right. That's next week, Andy. Epic. Something epic's not out till next week, I don't think, is it? Okay. Right, guys. Moving on. We then got Transformers the movie, which we're going to touch on a little bit, which is, I think, one of the best animated movies of all time. I love that film.
Yeah, absolutely.
It went crazy in terms of toys that just went mental. All kinds of figures, all kinds of variations, and it's continued on to present day. I haven't got a Nemesis Prime, the Black Optimus in the middle. Fancy one of those. Anyway, the toy line just went crazy. You can find the figures in pretty much most shops these days. I think there's always been a consistent Transformers section. So yeah, very cool. We then got some comics, UK versions and Americans. We then got the Bayverse movies, and we've got computer games as well. So the franchise basically has just continued going on and on and on. And it's a bit of a mammoth at this point. So in terms of that, what do we think the Transformers franchise is worth in dollars? Start with you, James.
40 billion.
Wow, shooting high.
I thought those movies make like one. They're always in the highest grossing of the year, 1 billion each. Then merchandise sales going back to the 80s. Yeah, I think 40 billion isn't out of the realm of possibility.
Ben?
5 billion or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what things are like. What is, when people are like, oh, what's it worth? Like, what do you mean? Like, if Hasbro sell the rights? Like,
it's kind of the accumulative worth. So if they sold the rights, a bit like when Marvel was kind of sold to Disney. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
If you sell all the rights.
So actually, yeah, I'll readjust. Yeah,
hang on, James is readjusting.
Lucasfilm was sold for like 4 billion. Yeah, so yeah, probably like 5, 6.
Okay, JP.
Yeah, about $5-6 billion. Yeah.
We've got some guesses. We've got 2.3 billion, 3.5 billion, 1 quadrillion from Simon.
Jesus Christ, Simon.
Actually worth 25 billion.
Oh my
gosh!
Of,
the revenue.
James, you should have committed.
Yeah.
2
Okay.
trillion
Batman's
yen.
only worth 29.6 billion. So it's
Right.
huge, massive
That's
market
mad.
overseas, obviously, because it's still hugely popular.
I
Um,
can't
but-
believe Cars is worth that
Yeah,
much.
why is cars worth that much?
No idea. No
Or is that
idea.
just
Biggest
like a car
merchandise.
in general?
General Cars.
yeah. Airplanes was just under. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Helicopters not even on the chart.
No.
But 25 billion is just obscene, absolutely obscene. In terms of cinema, we've obviously had a load of movies. This is going reverse in terms of popularity. Sorry, in terms of release dates. But if we look at Rotten Tomatoes in terms of the popcorn kind of monitor, original Transformers 85% positive. We'll start to go drastically downhill with each movie. So we'll get 57%, 55, 50, moving over to the other side. The Last Night, which was an
I'm not having that
absolutely
about Revenge of the Fallen. I'm not having that.
oh,
Yeah, I think it's one of the better ones as well.
Last
It
Night,
wasn't-
but
it
you
wasn't
can't
that
disagree
bad.
with that. Last Night was
Last night's
atrocious.
atrocious. Yeah.
Unwatchable.
I
Yeah.
haven't even watched it.
Oh, great.
Don't like. It's
Then
nothing.
we've
I've
got
watched the first
Bumblebee.
4. That's it.
Bumblebee at 74%, which is good. And then the
Great.
latest one at 91%. So I'm quite surprised
That's
at how
decent,
that's
that, yeah.
maintained. A massive difference in terms of the critics' ratings there, I suppose. But yeah, really surprised at that. I mean, Last Night, 16% critic rating. I mean, that's wow. It's shit, isn't it? Dog shit.
It's low.
So yeah. So that's the kind of the history of Transformers. Anything wants to add on any of that? Have I missed any salient points, Ben, that you'd like to bring out about your Transformers knowledge? Or are you happy
No,
to
I think you've covered it all.
cover that? Yeah, thank you.
Roll
So
out.
let's roll out into media. Obviously, we've got the original cartoon. You guys a fan of the original
Pointing at
cartoon?
you, James.
Yeah,
Why is he pointing
yeah.
at James?
He's picking a fight with James there, I think.
I will say though,
Um,
Pete, if you go into, I think it's HasLab or Hasbro Pulse on YouTube, they have all the Gen 1 cartoons on there. So you
Do
can
they?
watch them for free on YouTube.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't
Yeah.
realise that.
And
I mean,
G.I. Joe.
Generation 1 cartoons, it's a bit like all the old 80s stuff. It's probably better in your memory than if you go back and rewatch it,
Certainly.
I would imagine. But, you know, that original cartoon, the theme tune, everything meant a lot to me back in the day. Lots of different series. You guys aware that there's so many Transformers cartoon series?
Yeah, because I got my son into Transformers at an early age, so I
Right.
had to pretty much watch that one in the bottom left. He absolutely loved that one. I
Yeah.
remember watching that one, and they brought a line of figures out to go along with that as well. And they were easy transformable as well. It didn't take us half a day.
That's the
But I
danger
got-
of some of the Transformers, isn't it?
But that's
Because
the thing as well with the 80s cartoon. I actually got him into watching the 80s cartoon. He absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben, are you aware of any other Transformers cartoons other than the originals?
No, I mean, I'm not surprised there's so many because it just feels like there's always a version of Transformers. Now it's Netflix and stuff, but like obviously back in the day, it would have been on one of the cartoon channels or Saturday morning or whatever it may be. I grew up with Beast Wars, actually. That was my kind of, I feel like that's most prominent, in my memories as a kid.
Never really got into Beast Wars.
No.
Never really got into it. Okay, so James, if I was to push you, how many different Transformer series do you think there've been since that original 84 cartoon?
I mean, like
Scooby-Doo had something like, was it 12 or something like that, I think?
12 or 13. I'd say 10.
10.
Like he'd be, there'd be a couple of one season ones, like maybe for Netflix or just before that.
Okay. Ben, higher or lower than a 10? We'll do a bit of Brucey. Higher than a 10? Higher than a 10.
I'm going to go with 15, Bruce, because
15?
I think that at least one every other year, since the 80s. So yeah.
Okay. GP?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go a little bit lower because there was a big
Lower
gap
lower than a 15.
from the 90s to the 2000s. There was a bit of a gap where there was really wasn't really.
Are we
any
going lower than a
Transform
15 or lower than a 10?
Lower than a 10. I'll go
Oh, lower
nine,
than a 10. Lower than a 10.
nine,
Right.
9 or 8.
Okay. 20,
Jesus
20
Christ.
Jesus Christ.
29 different
Oh my God.
series
What?
of Transformers. That is, I'm just blowing up my image on my phone here. That is over 1,209 episodes of Transformers. Should you want to watch it? Should you?
That's
much.
ridiculous.
It's way too much.
I mean, it's obscene. Thinking I was a bit of a Transformers fan, I'm not aware of 90% of this stuff. I knew of Beast Wars. I didn't realize, again, you might not be able to read it in the section there, but Beast Wars is actually Beast Wars Transformers, Beast Wars 2. Then there was a movie, Beast Wars Close Call. Then there's Beast Wars Neo, Beast Wars Machines.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Obscene. So, when we started the show off saying we're not really uber geeks in terms of Transformers, I'd challenge anybody to really know the continuity and the inside outs of all of that. It's crazy. Now, these are the more recent kind of adaptations. This is the War of Cybertron 3-parters on Netflix. Sorry, absolutely funny, fuzzy, absolutely fuzzy. But let's be honest, nobody watches anime. Do you know what I mean? So these 3 are really, really good. My biggest disappointment with these is they don't use Peter Cullen as the voice of Prime, but actually the pretty good shows. Have you sat through any of these? Have you watched any of them?
No.
I struggled to get through it all. I think I started with the first one. I was enjoying it, but it just wasn't. It just didn't like. It's just so hard to sort of find the time to watch something now.
Yeah.
You really have to like, and I think the same. Don't think I watched any of the Earthrise, but I think I watched a bit of Kingdom and I quite enjoyed that. But again, it was just like it didn't get me hooked enough, unfortunately.
And it's interesting because I think probably out of all of them, Earthrise was the weakest. I think that was the most confusing one. I think Kingdom was pretty good and Siege was pretty good. But not bad. I would recommend. I recommend if you've got time, having a look at them. They're all on Netflix. If you like Transformers, Fuzzy, they are worth watching, mate. There's a very good kind of end fight with Prime and Nemesis Prime. Character I wasn't very familiar with. So yeah, worth checking out. And if you're not into Beast Wars like myself, it does cover a little bit of the backstory and the history. So I did find that quite interesting. Oh, Transformers the movie. Okay, guys, you all must have seen Transformers the movie. I would
absolutely
imagine. One of the best kind of, for me, this is what Prime's all about. And I always think the measure of a movie for me is if you can continue to keep quoting it in your head and those little sound bites. So for me, the whole one shall stand, one shall fall, all that kind of jazz and everything. And then Rodimus Prime at the end, superb. So start with you, James. What are your memories or thoughts of the old Transformers movie?
It's been a solid 15 years probably since I watched it, but
Really?
I remember quite liking it. Like I kind of got into a Transformers mood. Like I've always been familiar with it, but it's not something I've ever been attached to. But I was sort of in a mood after one of the video games came out, so I was like, oh, I'll go watch the cartoon, and like I didn't really vibe with the actual series, but I thought the movie was quite good and surprisingly adult for what is effectively a 90-minute toy commercial.
Yeah. I think you're right, mate. And I think, again, I always kind of cast my mind back to the time before the internet. So you know how we go in, and we've talked before about it. We go into a movie now, using Multiverse of Mad as an example. We kind of knew what the big shocks were and all that kind of stuff. Back then, I don't think you really had that. So seeing Prime die on screen, spoilers, was like totally out of the dark, totally floored you. Because this is a kid's film, you know what I mean? You don't expect that level of depth and depth. Ben, are you a big fan of it?
It's a weird one because I think I revisited it at uni, but I feel like I've not watched it properly in my adult life, so maybe it's one to put on in the next couple of weeks or so and properly try and give it the time and stuff. Because it's like almost one that like the nostalgia memories might have been faked. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm like, yeah, I've seen it, but I'm like, have I actually seen it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think with some of these things, you're like, and then you remember it, or you kind of almost create this memory of it, and then when you rewatch it, you're like, I don't think I've actually ever seen this. Like, I think it's just you just think you have because it's Transformers, and because the theme tune is just like part of culture and everything like that. But it's like, yeah, like I certainly need to revisit it, because I think if I did watch it, it would have been a long time ago. So
I think I'd be interested to know what you think of it. I rewatched it with my son, maybe a year and a half ago, or something like that. And it stood up for me. The voice acting in it is top notch. You've got some amazing...
the animation's really good as well, apparently, like the the drawings and everything. So
how about you, GP?
Yeah, God, well, my son's 18 now, so it's going to be about 12, 13 years
What did you just say?
since I watched it.
Your son's 18 years old.
Your son's older than James? What the hell?
18 in December.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I know.
I mean, I think that's Ben trying to politely say, "Christ, you're old." I think is what he's.
I know, bloody hell.
Or you were 12 when you had him.
It's from Newcastle, so there's a chance. Yeah.
So it's been about 12, 13 years since I watched it, but I remember the first time I watched it with him thinking, my God, Eric Idle's character is so annoying.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I can't remember him being that annoying when I was a kid when I watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was brilliant.
I kind of blocked that
and
bit
everything.
out.
You got kind of blocked that bit out.
You got to jump.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. We'll just quickly jump. Efren's asking here, when Transformers turn into cars, do they need gas? Energon, Efren. They're all powered by Energon.
They can't afford gas these days.
Yeah, they're all electric. They're all modern cars. We've got Shab. Thank you for joining, bud. Duke was supposed to die in G.I. Joe, but the Outcry Prime changed that. Is that right? Did you realize that? Was that in the excellent G.I. Joe movie with is he Serpentor? Wasn't Cobra Commander? They kind of introduced another serpent based.
Oh yes, yeah.
He had like a gold costume with a cobra head on him. Very cool. I remember getting the kind of the figures that was.
Somebody's been watching Caravan of Garbage there.
Oh, is that right?
On that,
Very Action Forces series I really enjoyed. Okay, guys, so we had the animated movie, and then we shifted on to this, the B-verse. Oh, sweet Jesus!
Shitted on this.
Yeah, I hate a lot.
I don't think Bumblebee's part of the B.
No, Bumblebee's kind of separate, isn't it? I think he's still got executive producer, something or other on it. But
right.
But yeah. We'll start with you, James. Pick a favorite. What's out of all of these movies? Which one do you enjoy the most? And you can't have Bumblebee because it's too easy.
Oh no!
What was that noise? Do that again. No.
Can I have the newest one?
No.
Okay. It's so hard. It's like the opposite of Sophie's Choice. Joe, I think that first one is actually like quite impressive. Like, it's impressive technically. I think there's like some really amazing sequences in it, like the going through the desert, the thing coming out of the sand, with soldiers and everything.
Devastator.
Yeah, no, and I think it like
wrong movie, Ben. Wrong movie.
It felt quite like fresh at the time. I remember thinking like I hadn't really seen anything like that on the screen before. So like that's one if I'm nostalgic about anything we talk about like today, I think that's probably the thing. So that original movie, I think it's decent.
Okay, good stuff. Ben, how about you? Any of these jump out at you?
Well, look, I expressed my love for Skids and Mudflap, and I just said about Devastator there, with his big Transformer balls. I quite like Revenge of the Fallen. I thought it was just it kind of realized what it was, as a sort of franchise. It felt a little bit more colorful, a little bit more kind of tongue-in-cheek than the first one. I think sometimes the first one sort of took itself a little bit too seriously. So I quite kind of enjoyed adding a little bit more silliness in that one. So yeah, I'm going to go with that one, but with an honourable mention for Bumblebee, because that is just such a great
cool film.
fit. It's just such a solid good film, and Haley Steinfeld is just so good. Like, she's just such a great lead, like, in that film.
Yeah,
So,
she is.
yeah.
She's very, very cool. So just to clarify, Ben, your favorite parts of this multi-billion-dollar franchise are the skids bit and the giant testicles. Yeah.
Skids and mudflap, baby. Give me a t-shirt.
Get that
Okay.
a t-shirt.
JP, how about you?
Yeah, I didn't hate the first two movies, so I'll go with them.
I didn't hate them. That's a high
no,
praise.
to be fair, I could put them on a Sunday and watch them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
chill out.
I
Watch
think.
them too.
Yeah. I think the first one's okay, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
It's just that disappointment. I guess they're all way too long. Yeah. Too many pointless slow-mo shots, too many sunsets, and way too much Mark
Who
Wahlberg.
doesn't like a sunset?
Yeah, yeah. Bumblebee, but I think we can all agree is a very, very good film. Yeah, we enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched it.
And then we get this. So, me and James have seen this. Ben, you've not seen this one yet?
Not yet, so try.
No.
I mean, I've had the end bit spoiled for me.
Yeah, I will not spoil it. And GP,
Yeah, I've
you've
had
not
the
seen this
after
one?
credits, but I don't know the actual story yet.
Yeah.
So,
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I think for me, this was probably one of the better of the franchise so far. I really enjoyed this one. I still think Bumblebee pips it, but I did think this was fun. What about you, James?
I'm the exact same. Like, it is, I think, genuinely good, which you can't say about any of the other live action movies named Transformers. Bumblebee's still better, but this one is a step in the right direction for it, certainly. And I think it gets a lot of the things that the other movies kind of fall down with, like the human characters. I think are actually well done in this movie,
Yeah.
and it's good action and it's fun, and it's not too long either. So yeah, I enjoyed this one.
The
It's
thing
just
about
mad
this
that it's
movie-
been.
Sorry, Ben.
Sorry. You
Sorry,
go.
mate. I was just going to say, because this one's got RC in, and it actually looks like RC from the 80s cartoon.
Yeah, and I hadn't realised, and Ben, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but apparently 3-0, do you know I've got I'll show them in a bit, the 3-0 die-cast Transformers. I've seen a RC mock-up that they've done, die-cast, and it looks friggin' amazing, so I'll definitely be getting that. What were you about to say, Ben?
I was just going to say, like, it's astonishing, really, that like all of the films that they've done, and I know that this one, like Anthony Ramos, is more likable, infinitely more likable, I think, than Shia LaBeouf got eventually, in those films, and John Cena was very good and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, it's amazing that like they still feel the need to like centralize the human characters, like in a Transformers film.
Yeah.
Where like literally a whole series of cartoons and a whole film, prove that you don't need to do that. Like,
But I find it really bizarre because Bumblebee was a great movie, but I don't know if you cast your mind back to when it came out and stuff. All everybody was talking about was that scene on Cybertron.
The
And
first
about
like 10
how-
minutes.
exactly.
how good
Yeah,
it
it was
was, and
incredible.
why have they not just given with that? Do you know
Too
what I mean? Why-
expensive to make that look realistic. It'd be too like you're
think?
doing a fully CG movie. Yeah, that'd be like really expensive, I'd say. And Bumblebee didn't do amazing box office wise. I
Very
don't think
true.
this one is really either, compared to the others. Like, amazingly,
Yeah.
the worse the movies are, the better they do in the box office
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, but overall, this was far better than I expected. I just wanted to touch on this next in terms of media. This is the Transformers ride at Universal Studios in Florida. Have any of you guys been on this one? I'm not sure if they've got it in Europe or no. This is phenomenal. I've been on this three or four times now. Cool thing about this is outside of the kind of the Transformers shop and stuff, they get people coming out dressed as Transformers, which is great. But the actual ride is you're in a car, and basically you're driving through the city with 3D glasses on as all the Transformers are battling and smashing around you and stuff like that.
Cool.
A bit like the Spider-Man ride. That's at the same pub, very similar to that. And it's absolutely amazing. If you like Transformers, it's superb because there's a bit where Prime lands on the bonnet and puts his face practically in your face and kind of says, "What are the humans doing here?" It's Oh, I did, Ben. I did. It's stunning. Phil's been on that one. He's saying the ride's amazing.
You're gonna say?
No, I was doing a kiss. I was going in for a kiss. So we need to give credit as well, right? Where credit's due. And I know Michael Bay gets a lot of stick and stuff, but like the design on the movie kind of versions of the Transformers. Like you almost can't imagine a live action version of the Transformers not looking anything like this now. Like I think that's quite incredible, really. Like it's kind of defined what they look like as live action, I think.
I absolutely disagree.
Yeah.
I hate it. I was much happier in Bumblebee and the latest movie where we had Prime looking a bit because I'm old. In my brain, he looked a bit more like the original Optimus. I think this is
Less
you're
is
right.
more.
You're right. This is probably the younger generation's version of Prime, and they will love this. I've no doubt. Flames on it and all the rest of it. I still like the classic looking truck. You know what I mean?
It's Lego, like.
Yeah.
There's a circus comes to our town like once a year, and they always having a big truck there, and it's designed like Optimus Prime. It's got the Autobot symbol on the front of it.
Yeah.
I'll have to do a short of it next time. Just driving past. It looks amazing.
You know what? I still grin like a 10-year-old kid when I'm walking through the supermarket car park or whatever, and you've got an Autobot or a Decepticon symbol on the back of the car.
I've never seen that in my life.
Oh,
never.
All over the place.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I put one on my jukebox, just like, and in my head I'm like, it's a little.
I was going to
And every time you walk past it, Ben, do you do the? Do you do this now?
His name is Funky, and he's like, "Yo, I'm Funky. What song do you want to listen to?" And then play the song.
And I think really that explains a lot about you, Ben, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
I've had a long day, I'm sorry.
Fuzzy, they look great until the fighting starts. You're not wrong, Fuzzy. I think that's my probably biggest criticism of the first few movies, that you cannot see what the hell's. I lost track of who was hitting who.
Which is the case for so many films though these days. Like, like Man of Steel, Superman looks great until he starts fighting. Like,
Venom.
Venom, yeah. CG's great until they start like colliding and
pushing together. Wouldn't fancy a full CGI movie with the standards at the moment. That's a good point. Dave. Have you seen the sell car badges with Autobot badges now to fit your car? Yeah. See, I think I need one of them. Yeah.
See, I don't like cars, but if I was going to buy a car, the idea of getting a yellow Camaro and having like a little Bumblebee, like, you know, air freshener and
show us the Bumblebee. That's the Bumblebee.
Just like hanging from the mirror or whatever.
Very cool. Yeah. Okay, so then in terms of other media appearances, we kind of moved off movies. We've had all those films. James, we're on to computer games now. What in the shit is that? I cannot remember that at all.
This is the very first Transformers game for the Commodore 64, I think.
Commodore 64, yeah.
I just watched a little gameplay earlier.
I had a Commodore 64.
Very simple, like side-scrolling kind of shooter, Metroid style. Nothing too fancy. And then I had a sequel, Mystery of Convoy. I'm curious, is that a mistranslation of Robots in Disguise, maybe? Like Disguise?
Yeah, probably is. Mystery of Convoy.
So yeah, that was kind of mostly the Japan release. I think that was on the NES or Famicom in Japan.
Interesting choice of picking Ultra Magnus as the lead character there.
Yeah, I guess so. Sure, whatever you say.
Just nod, James.
There's a Beast Wars game on the PlayStation 1. I don't know.
I remember this.
Yeah. Didn't even know this was a thing, but it's third person kind of. It's actually by one of my favorite developers. It's Sony Cambridge. They did like Medieval and Ghost Hunter. That game I got signed by Rob Paulson. Like they're not around anymore, but they're a really great studio. So
Medieval was such a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's on the PS1. Various movie tie-ins for the Michael Bay stuff.
Yeah,
they're fine. If I remember right, they're kind of grey and ugly, but like, you know,
I don't remember
robots. Any of you play any of these?
No, I don't remember those.
Yeah,
played the first one.
Looks like a lot of fun. Like the idea,
it was fun. Yeah,
shot Bumblebee out there looks like that was cool.
Yeah, I just remember like the graphic movie tie-ins in this era. Time were awful. Like,
you were just driving around.
Yeah, kind of a barren world that you're in. But like,
Yeah.
there was. I remember I never played the actual games. I played the demos. I remember,
Yeah.
and they were like,
Yeah.
fine. Didn't go out and buy it. But
Yeah,
this is
these.
this is the good shit now. This
I had
is
both
like
of these.
these were incredible.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore both these games, and they were so they're sort of like the Arkham, I think, for like Transformers. They were like kind of took all the elements from different areas of Transformers and kind of made its own universe. And yeah, like I said, like I watched the movie because I played these games and I was kind of got into it then watched the movie. But they're fantastic.
James,
they're kind of
which one was the one on Nintendo DS? I remember that one. Was that one of them ones?
I don't know if there's a DS version. There's probably a movie tie-in, one of the movie tie-ins on DS.
I know. I remember being on Cybertron.
Oh, well, I'll get to another one now. I'll have a little
All
story.
right.
But yeah, they were kind of like third-person shooters, and you could turn into like tanks, and there's tank combat, and there's
Yeah.
multiplayer and everything. But they were like absolutely incredible. So yeah, it's
I
sort of
these.
a.
I love
Yeah.
these, James. And I remember having both of them at the time. The graphics were phenomenal, and the action was amazing. And there were scenes where it would swap from kind of like that to you were driving down a racetrack kind of thing and having to shoot stuff, and stunning.
And there was like 2 campaigns. There was like a Autobot and Decepticon story modes and everything. Yeah, awesome. I absolutely love this. I really wish they got a remake or remaster. And then Activision fucked it because basically what happened was they dictated to the developer of the first 2, High Moon, I think, went on to do the Deadpool game, and they got another studio to come and do the 3rd game. But what they said was, we want to connect these to the Bay movies. So this is like a weird halfway between the Cybertron games and the Bay movies, and like it takes designs from both, and it was rushed out clearly. Awful, just absolutely terrible. GP, this has a DS version, so this might be the one you're
might be.
of. Yeah, Rise of the Dark Spark, so terrible. There's a really good episode of What Happened on Matt Russell's channel about the development of this, so I'd recommend checking that out. And then Transformers Devastation is a like cell-shaded kind of hack and slash game by the Platinum studios who do like Metal Gear Rising and Bayonetta.
It's like a cartoon.
Cell-shaded, like a very kind of well-liked and respected game. I never played it myself, but
I had this one. Yeah, I had this one.
Cool.
It was good fun. It was a bit repetitive, but and it was very hard. I remember, I think on the first level you fight Devastator, I think it is,
hard games.
And it was very challenging. Yeah,
they are like very punishing Platinum's ones, where you have to know your combos and to survive. Stunning to look at though. I love the art style of it. So it's pretty cool. And then. This is the newest ones. This is on PSVR and I'm sure Oculus or something as well. But this is Transformers Beyond Reality, so it's a VR game. Peter, I'm pretty sure
you not got this, Peter.
Is it out? I haven't seen this one.
I'm pretty sure it is out. Like it's on PSVR, but not PSVR 2. So I'm assuming if it's for the last one that it is out. But the trailer looked cool. I'm pretty sure I talked about this on Boys and Their Toys like a year ago when it was announced or something. But yeah, looked interesting. It's cool. But like I'd love to see another Cybertron-esque like third-person shooter game. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, that's kind of everything up to date on Transformers games.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for that, James. Right, I'm going to touch on merch now. Have you guys got anything to show off? I don't think I really asked you to.
Literally nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
I'll show you some of my bits and bobs. That sounds wrong. Hey, James. So, as you can see behind us, these are some of the larger scale 3-0 figures, die cast. Really heavy. I love these figures. They don't transform, obviously, but they are made of metal. That's obviously Megatron from the Siege version. Obviously. GP, you mentioned Soundwave before.
Yeah.
This is one of my favourite figures. Again, 3-0. That's an absolutely phenomenal figure. Chest opens, Ravage can go inside him. Again, die cast. Really, really nice.
Now, can you transform these?
No, you can't transform the 3-6.
Do you have something you can transform for us on screen right now?
Yes.
Lego Optimus Prime.
Fuck you. I've got lots, so I'm not going to transform because I'll blow them up. These are all Generation 1. I've got a load of Generation 1. I didn't bring my Prime and my Scorponok or my what you call them? Megatron.
Grimlock.
This is Generation 1 Grimlock. I've got all the bits for him and everything. Very cool figure, very old figure. Get his sword and all that kind of jazz. So he's pretty cool. See if you know who this one is. Anyone know who that is?
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
Derek.
Yeah. So Hot Rod, very cool.
Bumblebee.
Yeah. Original Generation 1 Bumblebee.
You can transform that. It's like one
Yeah.
click.
So his little nut comes out. And then his legs. Don't be filthy, James. His little feet.
Ben's head just shot up when he said that.
So there you go.
I just wanted to see if it'd break it live on. Can
Twat.
you imagine?
Laserbeak.
Yeah.
Laserbeak action. Generation 1 Soundwave.
Nice. So that's a cool
Brilliant.
one. That's probably the coolest
Yeah.
one.
Ravage inside.
Nice.
So how much now do like Gen 1 Transformers figures go for?
Depends which ones you get. I'm going to look in a little bit about the most expensive one that's sold.
Yeah.
And then I've got all of these, but I didn't bring them all. These are the Constructicons, all right?
Mhm.
Again, Generation 1 originals. These all transform and make Devastator. It's a pig, an absolute pig. So I did transform them all and create Devastator. But because they're old figures, it's very, very wobbly and very, very loose.
Yeah.
So that's some of my Transformers. Like I say, I've got an awful lot of them. Don't know what I've done there. How have I done that?
Oh,
Well, so yeah, there are
you've
absolutely
only been doing
tons-
this for like 2.5 years
I know,
now. Like,
forever. So tons of Transformers you can get. I used to love the packaging, love getting them at Christmas time. Phil is just saying there's a super fun, jolly good time, Holly of a Lego Optimus Prime. You should try it. Connie, nice to see you, Connie. Thank you for joining. Andy, those are so cool. Brings back memories of school. Yeah, but me as well. So yeah, you can get all kinds of flavors and shapes of Transformers. Again, going back through the years, these are some of the Generation 1 original ones, which are really, really cool. They all had the little transfers on the front that when you pressed your hot sticky fingers on would tell you whether they were an Autobot or a Decepticon. Connie is just saying there, frankly, I don't know anything about Transformers, so I don't really have anything to add. And Andy's saying, neither do the panel, Connie. How dare you, sir?
Very true.
I wanted to mention this. So this is my first memory of a Transformer. I got this at Christmas from my grandma. The rest of my cousins, so I had 2 cousins, got the cool ones. They got kind of jars and stuff like that. And I got this. I got Ironhide. I can't say I was impressed with it at the time. You can't see, but through his windshield there's like a sticker of a weird grinning face. So yeah, not the best. Any of you guys remember the first Transformer toy you had, if indeed you had any Transformer toys?
Oh gosh. I remember having Ironhide.
Yeah.
And a couple others. I remember having Bumblebee as well, just because they were the cheaper ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Ben? Have you had any Transformer toys?
I don't think I much liked them as a kid, to be honest, because they're cars. I'm not really into cars. Why am I here? But no, like I think I might have had a Beast Wars figure maybe because they were more, they were like monsters and stuff essentially. But I did have a Hot Toys Optimus Prime in the last few years, and I let him go. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was an incredible piece, but unfortunately, it just it didn't scale right. It's not 1/6 scale. It's not like small enough to kind of go anywhere. It just didn't. I didn't really have a place for it, unfortunately. So I did let it go. But yeah, very very cool piece.
It's funny. I was slightly disappointed with the Hot Toys Prime. It didn't have right weight to it and things for me. But I've still got mine, obviously.
I'd like the premium scale 3.0 Bumblebee. So the premium scale's like 20 inches. So he kind of is technically 1/6 scale. Like I'd like him.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
He's a lot of
How about you, James? Have you ever had any Transformer figures?
I don't believe so. No, like fans, I'm not a car guy, and just wasn't for me at the time.
You do know that there are other things apart from cars that Transformers transform into, yeah?
like
Is there, though?
vehicles, though, isn't it? It's all
Yeah.
vehicles. Like
Do any
I
turn
don't
into
like
trains?
guns.
Guns, transform
It's all
animals,
very
monsters.
masculine
Walkman.
stuff, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
Walkman maybe at a push. You know,
Yeah.
and go with my jukebox.
There you go.
It's all very masculine stuff. Yes, yes. I wanted to mention this. This is the bootleg version of Shockwave. I picked one of those exact figures up when I was in Spain on holiday, and loved it. Absolutely loved it, because it was hard to get the originals in the UK at the time. And on screen there, you've got the Megatron figure, which I've got as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, all the G1 figures were pretty good. I enjoyed them. This was always kind of the big figure that I enjoyed most. This is Metroplex. Huge figure, massive box, really chunky beast kind of transformer who converts into basically their city, and all kinds of other bits and bobs.
There was a Decepticon one as well, wasn't there?
Similar, yeah, very similar one, I think, Pete. But yeah, Metroplex was a cool figure. I had him.
Looks like a lot of work.
Not really, not in Transform.
I think that was the other thing that put
easy
me
one.
off as a kid. They're so fiddly, aren't they? And I got sausage fingers like from an early age. So like
you have, yeah. You and Prince Charles might be related. You know what I mean? You've got that kind of no.
If we're related, I want a cut of what they're getting. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So yeah, Metroplex was a very cool figure. I'm on the lookout for a complete Metroplex. I want a Metroplex. Well, I had 21 people watching just a few minutes ago. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. It helps the algorithm and all that jazz. And please do follow and subscribe to my colleagues on screen.
You better
just encourage them to do more Transformers content. You can see they're all experts. So if you want to follow them over, please do so. Fuzzy is saying the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had their own line of figures that were loosely modeled on Transformers too. Yeah, Fuzzy, a lot of kind of figures lent into this transformable phase for a while. So there was the Master of the Universe ones as well that did the same.
Power Rangers had the head swap thing.
Yeah. I mean, Transformers went a bit weird, and they started getting into the whole Headmasters thing where you could remove the heads, and there was that kind of stuff. And then there was the Pretenders, which was a plastic shell of a figure, and you opened it up, and there was the robot inside. So yeah, really interesting stuff. And then you got some more modern figures in that Starscream there, which is phenomenal. I love to pick that one up. I think it's amazing. We've got the Golden Goose, which is the Prime there. I've got an original Prime. He's one of my favorite figures. And then GP sent us this little image. Yeah. You guys, James and Ben might be too young, but when I was at school, and I would imagine GP's maybe the same. When I was at school, if you had one of these guys, you are the coolest kid on the
planet. You were golden. Yeah.
This is
my friend had one, and I was really jealous.
Yeah. So this is a Transformer watch. It's a wristwatch, and then you basically pull your arms and the legs out and stuff like that. It's a Transformer.
Interesting knowing that you're the coolest kid.
No, I was already the king of the school. Ginger hair, fat, NHS glasses. I was living the dream. If anybody in the chat had one of these, let us know, because they were the rage back in the day. Everybody had one.
I did.
And then you've got and then we've got some more expensive Transformers related stuff. You've got the absolute abomination that is Prime, Lego Prime. You see, Fuzzy, me and you, mate. I knew you'd be having a one. So yeah, we had the abomination that was Prime from Lego, 150, 160 quid. That piece of shit cost you. Awful figure.
So angry.
That's a Boxing Day,
honestly,
thing to do. Lego.
Fuzzy saying it broke after about a week, and my mum ground. Devastated. Oh, bless you, Fuzzy. And Big Dave had the watch. All my mates did as well. Yeah, everybody had.
That's good. Thank yourselves.
We've then got this £3,000 Transformers.
That's ridiculous.
That's a sideshow statue, so it's not actually a toy. It's one of these statues in itself.
Oh, right.
One of the Bay movies. It's huge.
That's
got
pretty standard price, though. Isn't it?
Yeah,
It looks like an abomination, though.
it's friggin' awful. It's awful. It's up. I can't remember what they called him in the movie Optimus Prime when he gets all the bits of the fallen one squashed onto and all that shit. We've then got Unicron from HasLab, which was amazing. I wish I'd known about HasLab back then and jumped on that, but I didn't.
How much was he?
Oh, I'm not sure, mate. He goes for around about $750 to $1,000 if you're looking
Now,
at him in the
but
second
yeah,
hand.
it'd be interesting to know what he was
Yeah.
at the time.
Where would you put it, Pete?
Oh, I don't care. I kick all the kids out.
Have you seen side note, like, but have you seen what Super 7 are apparently teasing the Thundercats base
Yeah.
or whatever?
Yeah, the cat's lair. Yeah,
People are
looks
saying
very
it
cool.
could be like $1,500 or something.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous.
I'll start saving up now.
See, I haven't got Ben, man. You see, out of all of these nostalgia cartoons, if I had to pick a one that's my absolute favorite, I'd say Thundercats. And it's probably the one that I've got the least stuff about. You know, there aren't any
get on
1/6
Super
figures,
7
you know?
Ultimate then, because they're amazing figures as well.
Yeah. And then we've got this converting Prime, which is pretty cool. And I nearly pulled the trigger on one of these a little while ago, but I thought it's a gimmick. You'll get bored with it
Such
pretty
a
quickly.
gimmick,
Yeah.
But nice. That moves on to money. So I want to know, first off, which Transformer you think has been the biggest in terms of, I can't even speak, which Transformer has sold the most? So in terms of which one's kind of been the most pricey figure you can get, so the rarest or whatever, which is it? Is it Optimus Prime or Grimlock? If you look back to the original Generation 1 figures.
It's got
The
to be
Megatron gun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
Yeah.
Megatron gun. All going for the Megatron.
Yeah.
So interestingly, Fuzzy's saying Megatron as well. Hi Brian, thanks for joining, bud. The Super 7 Turtle Van is 500. Oh mate.
Yeah.
What?
Cat's Lair is going to be $1,000 then, isn't it? Because it's huge.
Oh, minimum.
If they did a Thunder Tank, it doesn't matter how much it is. I'd have to buy a Thunder Tank.
It's out.
Is it?
Yeah,
Shit on it.
they've done the car thing already. Yeah.
The car thing, the fucking car thing.
From the tank.
So lots of people saying Optimus, Megatron, Ravage. Okay, so the one that sold most at auction recently was a mint inbox Jetfire. So lead scientist, a bit of a turncoat. He was a Decepticon, then converted to the Autobots. This is the thing that winds us up about the Bay movies. This is a classic Transformer, striking design. He looks
is
phenomenal.
he the old man?
He's the old shitty man with
I
bits falling
liked
off.
him.
Yeah, but it's not friggin' Jetfire. Do you know what I mean?
Is
This is
it,
what
Billy
winds us up.
Billy Connolly did the voice.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
a
I didn't
great
realise.
scene, and they bowl up to the. He's at like an old
in the museum.
war museum thing, and he like come. Yeah, I like that guy. Jetfire.
But this is the point. Bears no resemblance to Jetfire at all. So anyway, Jetfire, very cool Transformer. One I didn't have but would love. So this was mint in box from the 80s. Hazard a guess at how much this one sold for, guys?
$15,000.
I don't know, but I've
15
got one of these. You know.
You
No,
have
no.
shit. Yeah, you have shit. Right, so we'll
Probably
play
like
again. James has got 15 grand, higher than 15, higher or lower than 15.
Lower.
Nothing for a pair. Lower than 15.
Yeah, it's
Lower
got to
than
be like
15.
$5,000.
5 grand. Okay.
This is the
Benjamin?
most expensive.
I'm gonna come in.
Transformers.
At 30 grand. Talk to me.
30 grand. Just before Page Comics, I absolutely loved my Jetfire. I showed my dad how much they go for now. Yeah, after he gave it away. Absolutely, but I love this design. I love this one. I'm into airplanes anyway. Fuzzy, 38 grand. It went for 25 grand. Around about
Shut up.
25 grand. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
25 grand. I mean, it's a nice figure, mind. Nice figure, I have to say.
Yeah.
25 grand's worth, though, isn't it?
Now, do you like Optimus Prime's like Gen 1 mint condition come up like a lot?
Mint
What is it?
condition.
Figure.
Obviously, any toy from the 80s, mint condition, boxed, Very,
Yeah.
very rare. But actually, you can get. I mean, I got my Prime Generation 1 with box, battered box, for around about 150. But it's a bit of a, sounds stupid to say, bit of a dangerous game buying the Prime, because there's that many re-releases and subsequent editions that people have kind of bastardized them over the years. They've taken the car out of one, they've taken the pipes out of the other, and they've created a Prime. So you've got to be very careful and check the numbers on the back of all the issues and all that kind of stuff to see if you've got an original Generation 1.
I'm surprised they've never done like a facsimile range of these. Like,
oh, they've done loads. So I had
Master Series, isn't it?
Yeah. So when I had my first collection before I sold it off, video coming soon, I had about 10 different variations of Prime. So I had from each of the toy series at the time, cartoon series, but then I had the re-releases, so different generations worth of kind of reissues and repaints and all that kind of stuff.
But like with the packaging in that, if anyone knows what that's called, because I'm in the market, like I've obviously got a kind of small little retro on card collection of like the I don't need it to be the original, because like they've done it with the Turtles, they've done it with like Bucky O'Hare, where it's the original packaging and stuff.
Original packaging Prime. Is it a Prime you're after?
Well, just like Prime would be good, but like just anything just to kind of represent Transformers.
Yeah, there's loads, Ben. You'll I mean, do a bit of a Google, but there's lots of kind of, I can't remember what they called them, whether it was the Master release or something like that.
Yeah, it's the Master series. I got my son the Hot Rod, and it was absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
and that was, I think that I got that for like 30 quid off eBay, brand new. So.
Okay, guys, so tons of toy content out there if you're into that kind of stuff. Looking at comic books, just wanted to mention the old UK Transformers comics are absolutely phenomenal. A bit of a mix. Some of them have got new material in them, and some of them have got reprints of American comics. A guy called Simon Furman kind of led a lot of this back in the day, and he's still a phenomenal guy. Some of the storylines in this are absolutely superb. Introduced some of my favorite characters, and then we'll get them kind of reprinted into some of the kind of the softback books, which collects themes. Some of them are absolutely amazing. So Time Wars in particular is one of my favorite storylines. It's where Galvatron goes crazy. He's got half his face missing. Very, very cool book. Fallen Angel as well is very cool. This is the series that introduces I can't remember, it's Death's Head. It was an amazing UK creation. Who's a stunning book. And then Legacy of Unicron as well is very, very cool as well. So all kinds of great comic books out there. JP, did you send us this one?
Yeah, because I just found out about this. It's actually a really interesting story about the company that put this book out. So, little backstory: Marvel stopped doing Transformers about '91, but Marvel UK kept it going for a little bit. And once that got cancelled, there was nothing really apart from the Transformer mangas until about 2001. A fella called Pat Lee, who worked on Wizard magazine, drew this picture in Wizard. It got such good feedback. Him and his brother started this company called Dreamweaver Studios. And they got the license for Transformers. It's the company itself and the fella called Pat Lee and his brother basically weren't paying any of the content creators or the artists. They were keeping all the money, the studio's money. So they had lots of plans to buy a franchise like Mega Man and stuff like that. But they only put out 2 trades. There was a third one planned. So I think they're a bit hard to come by now. But IDW put an omnibus out called The War Within. And these are reprinted in that.
I think I read this. Sorry, Ben, what did you say, mate?
So the cover's gorgeous, like really
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, the art's absolutely brilliant. It's quite anime inside though.
Oh.
But it's retelling Gen 1, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. Dr. Von Hoot, who's a Transformers expert, different countries released their own versions as they were licensed in the 80s. Yeah. So like in Italy, it was released by Geek. or Japan. Yeah, we mentioned that at the start, but and there's really interesting Mexican versions that were super. Yeah, various paint jobs, as you say. Ben and James, you guys read any of these kind of Transformers books? Are you into Transformers comics at all?
Never read one in my life.
No.
No.
Great value. Yeah. Ben?
I dipped in and out, as I said at the beginning of the show, very casual fan. Recently tried that Grimlock series, but it was pretty unreadable
Awful.
at times. I want to give a shout out to Jack Lawrence, who's an artist that I know who did work on Transformers for a little while, but he's kind of does a lot of commissions and stuff. So if you want like a really, really great classic Gen 1 style kind of headshot or full body color, black and white, if you head over to Jack Lawrence, he's a great artist for that sort of stuff.
Was he at Thought Bubble, Ben? Did I try and get something from him at Thought Bubble? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. Andy's saying Tom forces us to read Transformers and they're awful. Read more than meets the eye from IDW.
I think it was Tom who forced us to read Grimlock actually at the time.
Now, Phil, I'm all over that Daniel Warren Johnson Transformers. Yes. So we've recently had a book come out called Void Rivals, which sadly was spoilt a little bit by that cover on the end there, which has got a bit of a spoiler. So this is by Image, by Skybound, Robert Kirkman. It was set up as very much, the series is basically about two warring races that crash. The ship crashes on a planet, and it's about how they kind of interact with each other. And then halfway through the book, for absolutely no kind of reason at all, they stumble upon Jetfire, the character we were just talking about, is the most expensive figure. Right. And it's very random. And basically, this is the announcement that Image and Skybound have got the license for Transformers and G.I. Joe. But there was no press about it other than them ballsing up this kind of alternate cover there. Jetfire wakes up, says hello, and then just dicks off. And he flies off into space and leaves them to die on the planet, which is a little bit interesting. But at the end of the book, you get this hint for the new Transformers series coming out by Daniel Warren Johnson. Daniel Warren Johnson is a phenomenal creator. So this has got me very, very excited. So we've got that teaser image of Prime in the book, and then they've been doing this cool thing, a bit like Marvel do, to be honest, where they've got that image and like the central image there, but they've got the characters blacked out, and then each day they will release.
Marvel have done.
Yeah, exactly what Marvel do. And then each day they release a new image. So you've got your Autobot team there, and you've got your Decepticon team. Interesting characters. Jump straight out that we've got no Megatron. So it looks like Starscream's going to be leading the group, which is really cool. I like that. We've got Soundwave there. We've got, some very cool characters. This has got me really hyped. Probably more hyped for a Transformers comic than I've been in a long, long time. Because much like you guys, I don't read Transformers anymore, to be honest. Deadman saying October, Transformers 1. Yeah, mate. Andy Jetfire left like he was dying for a Cyber poo. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about this. Will you guys be interested in reading this? Is this something you'll pick up to see what it's like?
Yeah, it's a fresh interpretation. So there's no need for knowledge of anything else. I can just jump into this. So I'm gonna give Void Rivals a go as well, and the G.I. Joe ones when they come out.
Yeah. Do you know what I really enjoyed Void Rivals? It reminds us a lot of an old 80s film called Enemy Mine, where two kind of a human race and an alien race crash on a planet, and they've got to work together to survive, kind of thing. So I enjoyed the first issue of that. Ben, I would imagine you'll be picking this up, or having a bit of a go at it.
Oh, do a Powerbomb and Better Ray Bill, two of my favorite comic runs ever now. So I'm kind of fully aboard the Darren Warren Johnson, Daniel Warren Johnson hype train. So yeah, this just a fantastic creator, bringing a kind of brand new, fresh start for the Transformers. So, for casual fans like me, it's perfect because it's like, oh, right, now's the opportunity where I can kind of be there from the start, because you kind of get a bit overwhelmed sometimes, and it's all this stuff coming out. You're like, I'm never going to be able to catch up. But this feels like a new slate. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. And just that image of Prime, there, it's classic. What I envisage. We've talked a bit about the Michael Bay version and whatnot. That's what I think of when I think of Prime. So I'm excited that they've gone back to basics, to be honest, because they look like they could have been fresh off the cartoon. All of those characters.
The thing with Daniel as well, like he just completely gets character interaction, and like his characterization of different, like very extremely sort of different characters and stuff, like is really good. His humor's like really like genuinely good as well. Like, so I'm just really excited for this.
GP, you going to pick this one up?
Yeah, it's really got us intrigued because it's looking very much Gen 1. I'm just wondering if they're going to retcon everything for this comic.
Well, I reckon.
So it'll be easy for new readers coming in to get on with it.
Yeah, so do you think we'll have a start of them arriving on Earth kind of thing? Do you think it'll start from scratch?
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon he'll make some bold story choices as well. I reckon there'll be like an issue, like something will happen that will break the internet during this series, I reckon.
Yeah. As long as, and me and James talked about this a while ago, as long as Prime doesn't get his ass kicked every friggin' comic, because that's what happens in the Michael Bay movies. He gets his ass beaten every time. So yeah, really looking for
Soundwave likes other robots. Oh my god, a robot likes robots. What have you done to my character?
Okay, guys, that is the end of our spotlight on Transformers. Just quickly jump to my expert panel. Have I missed anything, gentlemen? Is there any other gems of Transformer wisdom?
I will say, if you want to check out more history on Transformers and other 80s toys and cartoons, check out a channel called Michael Mercy on YouTube.
Oh, I don't know that one.
And it goes right through, it does Brave Star, Centurion's Mask. It'll go right through the toy history and the cartoon history at the same time.
Yeah,
it's really good. I'll send you the link, Pete.
Yeah, sounds
really,
interesting.
Really good.
Brave Star, Centurions, they're all comic cartoon lines that I really enjoyed. Gentlemen, anything else from you guys?
I mean, there's so much that I think we should do another.
Do you think? Yeah. Thanks, guys. James, anything to add?
Nothing at all. No.
Nothing. I think I'll do it just by myself next time. That's probably going to be easier, isn't it? Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody that's been in the chat. Just a reminder, tomorrow night we've got Indiana Jones over on Reviews with Rich's channel. That should be fun. Looking forward to that. That'll be an interesting debate. So quite looking forward to that. And that's your whack, really. Haven't got a topic for the next spotlight. Not sure what I'm going to be doing with that. I might be moving my shows around a little bit, but we'll have a bit of a think. But we'll have a chat off screen and decide what we're going to do with that. Chris Morley is the best channel for Transformers history. Again, not a one.
Really?
Yeah, I'll check that one out as well. Thank you very much, bud. Okay, anything that you guys have got coming up that you haven't mentioned that you want to plug before we disappear?
I'm going to be doing an overview for the hardback of Daphne and Brian soon.
I have not read that one, mate.
When I get around to doing it. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. So it's it's like The Omen meets The Exorcist. So I think that's how Joe Hill puts it anyway.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with him. It's an interesting read. Sure.
Check that one out. Ben, anything coming up on your channel?
No. I find it quite hard to film video, like do traditional videos now. So I think what I'll be doing is just kind of going live as and when I can. I do think I am going to do this top 50 cosplays that I've done now. So I kind of showcased different people today, and I'm going to blow my own trumpet and show off some of the work that I've done over the years. So.
Very cool. Fuzzy, are you suggesting Dick Tracy is a spotlight? That's a deep cut. That's
no.
Yeah, that's a hard one to do.
I remember the film.
Yeah, Warren Beatty. Was it Warren Beatty?
Yeah.
Warren Beatty.
What about Hanna-Barbera or like Hanna-Barbera or Looney Tunes, like some cartoon type stuff?
Yeah. We'll have a think. See what we'll do. James, anything coming up on your channel, mate?
Just my shorts every day. So I've been doing I did one on a cancelled Indiana Jones game yesterday. So I can have different things every day. So
I just watched.
I'll probably be doing a Mission Impossible one But yeah, no, the physics like for 2007, it looked decent. But I'll probably do like a Mission Impossible ranking next week for games and movies as well.
I've not seen that short. I'll have to go back and have a look at it. Okay, lovely. Thank you very much, everybody. Always do appreciate you guys jumping on. So thank you for that. Oh, Austin, we're just finishing, but thank you very much for jumping on, mate. Go check out the rewind. Perpetual Comics Spielberg movies. Yeah, that would be interesting.
That'd be a good one.
Some good content.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. We've had consistently around about 18 to 20 people on tonight, so massive thank you. Really do appreciate your support, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see some of you tomorrow night over on Reviews with Rich, and then the rest of you at the end of the week for the toy show and for the What You've Been Reading. Okay, thanks very much, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.